My name is Rachael Ibarra. I usually go by Vintage by Rachael. I help to facilitate making everybody beautiful at the fashion shows. Hair and makeup is an industry that will never die. It's an industry that will never go away. It's always going to be wanted one way or another, whether it's your everyday hair and makeup that you're doing or TVs and fashion shows and photo shoots and advertisement and things like that. I've had a sister who didn't do well in education, that was a great example of what I didn't want to do. So I pushed myself really hard in school. I constantly had great grades. I did a lot of music when I was in school, so I played violin and I did vocal jazz, and my family was always there supporting me, whatever musical it was, orchestra, concert that I had, whatever it was, my family was always there supporting me through it. And so it helped me love education more because I had my family's support. As much as I loved music, and I still do so much, and I love singing and I love playing and just everything about it, that it was one of those that I had to make the decision, is this something that I really want to put my whole heart into, and to struggle and to work that hard to be where I want to be and to be in the limelight kind of thing. And I made the decision that it wasn't, that I love doing it, but I love doing it just for fun and just for me, not something that I need to struggle. After that, I kind of was a little lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what avenue I wanted to go down until I started kind of playing with little bits of makeup and hair. And then I started forming a little bit of a passion for it. It was about 7-8 years ago that I started finding my passion for hair and makeup. I went to California, and I went to beauty school in California out in San Marcos. After I graduated, I came back home. Knew I wanted to work with people as a child. I knew that I loved helping people. And for a minute, I almost wanted to do like psychology or something like that where I can help people. But once I kind of developed that love for hair and makeup, that's where I knew where my calling was. There's so many beautiful people that are beautiful inside, and they don't get told enough that they're beautiful on the outside as well, or to let that shine through. And, I have the ability to help somebody see that. And I have the ability to help somebody just feel really good about themselves and be able to put a smile on their face by looking at themselves. And it changes somebody. It changes their energy. It changes their perspective on themselves and their confidence and everything like that. And it all just, doing a little bit of hair, a little bit of makeup can really change somebody's whole view. There are so many different avenues when it comes to hair and makeup. There's, your stage makeup for theatrical theater, where it has to be just a little bit different from seeing it from afar. There's FX kind of makeup where you're doing prosthetics and blood and gore or whatever it may be. You have your contemporary makeup, and that's your everyday kind of makeup, and your typical smoky eye, pictures taken. Then you have a little bit more fashion editorial, and that kind of ranges between really avant-garde makeup to more simplified makeup. You have so many different options of what you can do to make money in this industry. You can be behind a chair, and you can take clients on that full time. You can do education and be an educator in different ways, an educator in your salon, an educator in the school. You can be more of a freelance and just do photo shoots and fashion shows and editorial. You can work musical theater and just be behind in musical theater, or TV and do just TV. I think that the technology of makeup has definitely evolved. We've come out with more simple things, multitasking things. We've come out with things that have saved us in the past from, I love the 1940s, and I'm a huge fan of the 40s vintage looks and makeup. But back then, they used one thing for everything. They didn't have palettes on palettes of makeup. They didn't have all of these creative brushes and things like that. There are so many options nowadays for us that it's endless. That's why the demand for a makeup artist, I feel, is so strong, is because they're constantly coming out with new makeup, new tools, new techniques, new different forms of technology. We are in the back corners. We are doing the hair and the makeup. Rarely do we get the recognition. Half the time, we don't even get to see our work on the runway because we've been, jam packing in the back. That it's a silent beauty. It's something that people see it and they experience it, but they never really know who did it or how it was done. I think fashion shows are starting to recognize hair and makeup more. They're starting to do more segments focused on the stylist and hair competitions and hair shows. And I think that they're starting to see all the work that we're putting in, and we're slowly starting to get that recognition. I have clients that I take and I do cuts and colors and things like that on. I work with photographers and I do 40s vintage style hair and makeup photo shoots or the 1940s ball. I've worked with the Boulder Theater and I've been able to be backstage behind a musical theater play. I've done shows and I've done movie segments where I've been able to be a part of the movie as well as help to style for the movie. I've done gore and FX makeup and been able to recreate some really cool, creepy looking things. I've run a team in a fashion show and show them the in and outs of what that industry is like. I feel as though I get the pleasure to do everything that this industry has to offer. And don't get me wrong, there's rarely any days off. I rarely get to breathe, but it's so worth it because of the impact that you get to make in people's lives and helping people and bringing people up and making them feel beautiful, but having so much fun getting to do all of it at the same time too. I pushed myself in the past 2 years to just soak in as much knowledge as I possibly could to be able to share all that knowledge with everybody. I think I love teaching because I get to help somebody be better. I get to help somebody advance in something that they're passionate about. I think that's one of the most rewarding things to me is just being able to help somebody grow. If it wasn't for teamwork, we would never have a successful fashion show. If it wasn't for support of each other, we wouldn't be able to create the beautiful things that we get to create. Having a team and a backbone to this industry is so important. I think my personal challenge is going to be just constantly growing and building myself, being able to stay in the new and now, to constantly get that new education because I'm always bringing it back to people, but then I'm implementing it on the things that I'm doing as well. So if you fall off of that education train, you're not going to know the newest things, the newest techniques, the newest products, the newest this and that. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't have the passion that I have. I wouldn't have the enthusiasm that I have if it wasn't for such a big support system that I've had. I'd like to call it the Denver Fashion Family because we are a family. We support each other in so many different ways that it's never a selfish moment. I almost have a different style to my own look every single day. I never look the same way twice. I like being able to create so many different things. I love weird things like horror movies and stuff like that where I get to create messiness and blood and guts and all of that kind of stuff. I've been able to recreate so many different categories that's what makes me me. So for the first time in 7 years of working the fashion industry, I now have the capability of putting a whole segment together, all my say. I still have a group and I have a team, but now they're recreating my looks and my vision and what I see. So I get to help do anything from the clothing styles to the music to which models I'm choosing to what looks are being created, how I want them to walk, all the fine little details that I finally get to create on my own. I'm really excited to finally show people that I can do stuff, that I have the capability of creating a whole segment out of my vision. And so I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait to show the world that I can create so many different things. 5-10 years from now, I hope to be all over. I hope to be that background person between, TV sets and shows and movies, yet also being lead segments at fashion shows and being the one to surprise everybody because I'm always going to have something different on every show. I hope in 5 to 10 years that I'm still doing all of the things that I love to do, but in a more advanced level where people can really see the different things. But I want to keep them guessing. I want to keep people wondering, what is she going to put out next?